This is a tutorial on how to get started with the APA Skills Assessment for English 102. The APA Skills Assessment is located in Unit 1. So you'll click on Unit 1 and then you'll click on APA Skills Assessment. There you will see the assessment and the submission folder. So click on the APA Skills Assessment, and there you're given the instructions as well as screenshots of 4 different sources that you might use if writing a paper. The APA Skills Assessment is divided into 2 parts. Part 1 is creating a correctly formatted APA references page using the 4 sources. Part 2 is writing embedded citations if you were referring to information from those various sources. And there are 5 different scenarios given, and what you'll be providing in this part is a parenthetical citation to show how you would cite that particular article in that particular scenario. So to set up this assignment, you're going to create a references page. So it will look just like a references page with the source 1, do my hanging indent, source 2, source 3, and source 4. Now, of course, they will be the full citations as you would do them in APA format. For part 2, what you can do is simply go to the lower half of that page and label this as part 2, and then number each of the scenarios. And what you'll be providing is a parenthetical citation that would look something like this, depending on the scenario. So you're not actually quoting from those articles, you're not typing out long sentences, you're just giving the parenthetical citation based on the described scenario. Okay, so for the references, what you're going to need to do is look at the information and then use your APA resources to figure out how to list that particular article. So article number 1 is listed as a database article. So you would want to go to the APA resources and look at the APA guide. Here, it will give you descriptions, examples, including color coding for various kinds of articles. So here it gives a standard example. Here is an article with no DOI that is retrieved from a database. And by the way, this first example is any article that has a DOI, whether it's from a database or from the internet. This one is if there is no DOI, but it's from a database. This one, if it has no DOI, but you retrieved it through an online search. And then there are some other scenarios as well for helping you with the references. Things like missing authors, missing volume, more than one author, etc. There's also an example for a web page and website sources with some other scenarios that might affect the standard example. So please use your APA guide. There's also an example of books, which for the APA Skills Assessment you will not be using, and also multimedia examples. So as you are looking at the sources in the APA skills assessment, the first thing you want to see is what type of article this is, and then use the APA guide to help you format it properly with the author, with the date, with the title, etc., etc. Okay, then you'll go to your next one, and again it tells you this is a database article. Again, look through your APA guide and see where this fits and how you would put together this information. You, of course, will be typing that here in your properly formatted references page using hanging indent and double spacing. Once you've put the information from all 4 of your sources, do make sure that you have arranged them in alphabetical order. So in the skills assessment, they may or may not be in alphabetical order. So you're not necessarily listing them article 1, 2, 3, and 4. You may have to rearrange them so that they are listed on the page alphabetically. All right, and then in part 2, it gives you the scenario. So this one is using article 1. How would you format a citation when paraphrasing information? To get some additional help with this section, which is all about citations, go again to your APA resources, and in the guide, after it talks about how to list your source on the references page, there is a section on embedded citations. So again, find which scenario fits the situation that's described, and use your information here to help you format that citation. Please note that there are 2 ways that you can cite. One is a narrative way, which is within your sentence structure, and the other is parenthetical, which is at the end, usually, of your sentence in parentheses. We are going to use parenthetical for this skills assessment. APA also has some information on references page, so you can also look here for examples and explanations of the different types of sources that you put on your references page. And it also has a section on embedded citations, again describing how they work and a lot of different scenarios. So between the APA guide and the other resources in the APA section of the course, you should have enough information to complete the assignment. When you're all done with your document, then you'll go to the submission folder and you'll drag and drop or upload your file, or you can choose existing and either use your Word 365, your OneDrive document, and submit it that way. Now, the APA assignment is an all or nothing assignment. So in order to get the 25 points that it is worth, you must create a perfect document. However, if you do have some mistakes on it, I will give you feedback on those mistakes. You will have time to correct your errors and resubmit. And you're going to have about 2 or 3 weeks to work on this assignment. So don't expect that your first go-round is going to be perfect, and don't get discouraged when you have a 0 in your grades. That will be temporary until you fix your errors. However, if you don't fix the errors by the final deadline, then you would get 0 points. So there is no partial credit for this assignment. The idea here is to help you learn how to proofread and refine and work with APA so that you feel pretty comfortable with it. Later on, when you start working on your research paper, you will be working with lots and lots of sources. So now is the time to feel a little more comfortable with APA. So persevere. Don't be surprised if your first go round is a 0. You may refine and resubmit as many times as you need to until you get your 25 points. Hopefully that will help you with this assignment.